North Shore 104.9 WBOQ Gloucester.
And streaming worldwide on the North Shore 104.9 app.
It's time for John Paul, the Car Doctor, on North Shore 104.9. Call today with your car questions, comments, or concerns. 1-800-370-1049. That's 1-800-370-1049. John Paul, the Car Doctor.
Good Saturday morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the North Shore 104.9 Car Doctor program. My name's John Paul, the Car Doctor, here to help you with your car problems on this Saturday morning. And finally, it looks like a decent day outside. Weather's been less than ideal. Yesterday, nice day. A couple days ago, not so bad, but it seems like we've had more rain than good weather lately. I did actually make a video washing and waxing the car one day. It was a good excuse to do something for work and wash and wax my car. So it worked out okay. You can always find any of the oddball videos I do on YouTube. You can just YouTube John F. Paul. You'll usually find it, or Car Doctor or something like that. You can find it. And remember, past programs can be found on the North Shore 104.9 website or my podcast page, which is my name again, johnfpaul.podbean. Yeah, podbean.com. So you can find it there. Hey, did you ever wonder what it was like to go really fast in a really short period of time? I've never had this experience. I've talked to people that have, but somebody who's really good at it is joining us on the program right now. Matt Hagan, he is a driver of the Mopar Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat funny car, and his boss is Don Schumacher Racing. So, Matt, good morning, and welcome to the Car Doctor radio program.
Good morning, John. Glad to be on the show. I got to start off already with being a little bit of jealousy, man. I go 330 miles an hour, and I don't get a cool nickname like the Car Doctor. So, I don't know what I got to do to get a nickname like that,
Well, you go 330 miles an hour, and I understand you're also the first person to crack 330 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, I've had a lot of really cool milestones in my career with Mopar, and they've I was the first ever to break in the 4-second zones, the 480 zones, and I missed the 470 zone by one run. Me and Robert Height, when I did it. He did it right before me. We were side by side, and then I come back and did it right beside of him. So, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But, we've always just been in a really fast race car, Dickie Venables, and won a championship with him and won a championship with Tommy DeLago back in the day. And, just them boys are aggressive, and they've always put me in a fast race car. And I'm a big old boy to do what I do, so I guess they have to make more power so maybe we go faster, So, it just kind of all works out.
Well, I was going to kind of get to that eventually, too. A guy who I've met over the years, and I'll say kind of a neighbor because we live, I don't know, less than 100 miles from each other, is Bobby Tasca. Bobby Tasca's not a big guy. You look like a professional wrestler.
Well, Bob don't eat no meat either. I'm a big beef guy, so maybe that's what the difference is, So Bob's a great guy. He's a car dealer as well. We own 11 new franchises. I've been a Dodge dealer for over 42 years now with my family and stuff. And it's talking to Bob, it's always good to talk cars and different things and how the business is and whatnot. But he's a great guy. He brought Ford into the sport there back again after they left John, and it's glad to see him back there. So we're just trying to keep Mopar running up front, and I guess they've been with Don Schumacher Racing 18 years, and I've drove for him for 12, I think now. So I'm kind of getting old out here, man. I used to be the young gun.
Well, it was kind of funny when Ford left drag racing. Bobby said to me, I said, "What are you going to do?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to go to Ford and tell them I'm going to start driving a Mopar." Yeah. And that somehow turned it around. I don't know.
I tell you what really brought that deal back for Bob is something that we do, like that I do as well for Mopar, is called the CAP program. And really, they saw the value in reaching out to all these young kids and getting them to come on over and sign up. They bust these kids in to every event like that, most every event. And, we sit down and we have like 4 or 5 waves of thousands of kids that come through. And, it gives them an idea to give an opportunity to go over to the 10 and talk to these people about becoming a technician for, a dealership or a race team or anything like that. So, the hands-on experience is what brought Ford back in with Bobby. And then we've been doing it with Mopar with the CAP program, and, they see the value in that. And that's really, what separates our sport from other sports is that we actually talk to a lot of these kids and parents and just fans, period, guys and gals. And, we have one-on-one experience with them and can, answer questions. And, last time I checked, I don't have a helicopter. I didn't fly in, fly out, and never saw nobody. But, we're working on that. Maybe one day NHRA will get there.
There you go. And one of actually more of a neighbor is a guy, Brian Loans. He's an announcer, and I said to him, "Hey, if you had the chance to ask Matt Hagan one question, what would it be?" And he said, "How do you stay in the shape that you stay in, and be able to? Is that how you battle the? What are you running, like 5 or 6 Gs when that car takes off?"
Yeah. So we pull about a positive 6, and that's, everybody thinks we do it at the head of the track, but it's actually in the middle of the racetrack when the clutch goes 1-to-1. That's when your vision gets really blurry, and that's when it tries to pick the front of the nose back up out there. And back when I used to drive a 5-disc, we run a 6-disc now, but back with a 5-disc, it sounded like you took a 2x4 and break it in half, and then when it welds, it goes 1-to-1. You're like, holy crap, what was that? The first time. And so like that's where we see the most positive Gs. Now we see more negative Gs when the parachutes come out. So we go from a really hard positive to a really hard negative. We'll see almost a -7 G swing from a positive to a negative. And that's why I was like, for 4 seconds of my life, I look really young. And then for about half a minute, we look really old, I'm afraid that there's going to be more old time than there's good young time. You know what I mean?
I can only imagine. And, in that 4 seconds, and a lot of times it's, from, I guess, start to finish, it's probably 4 seconds. But in that short period of time, do you really have time to think about anything?
Well, you know what is kind of crazy is that your mind does slow things down. I wouldn't say it's like super slow-mo where I'm like, look at the hot chick in row 3, but it's one of those things where, at first it's so fast that your mind can't grasp it. I mean, you truly can't, realize how, the first time I got down there, it looked like I was a snake. I was behind the race car. You're never really, in front of these cars. You're just trying to stay with these cars. And it was left and right. And I was chasing it all the way down through there. And I licensed in Tim Wilkerson's car, and I thought I was going to get out and get a high five. And, cause at the time I only had, basically I had to make 3 runs, and that's all the money I had to get my license. And I was buying his race car as a turnkey deal. So he threw in 3 runs. So I had to go to the end no matter what. And I'd never been that fast. And so I thought I was going to get a high five, and Wilkie comes over and he's like, "Kid, don't ever drive like that again." And I was like, "Man, I got it to the end." He's like, "Yeah, but you about hit everything along the way." You know what I mean? So it was just, your mind at first can't compensate and grasp how fast it is. And then it starts slowing it down. It took me probably 50 or 100 runs to really start to feel comfortable in a race car. And even then it's still, I've never had the same ride, back to back or anything close. I mean, it's kind of, I would be, I've only got on a bull a time or two, but it's like getting on a bull. You just never know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? You're just kind of, but it's kind of one of those things where they're wanting to slow us down and we're wanting to go faster. And if you go talk to a bull rider, they say, "Well, man, I sure don't hope this bull bucks." I mean, you never heard somebody say that. So it's kind of like, we want this thing to go faster and faster too,
Yeah. And I can only imagine, and again, have no idea what it's like to travel that kind of speed and that short a distance. And like you said, you've been around for a while, so you saw the track go from 1320 down to 1,000. Were you concerned when that happened?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm an old school guy. I grew up pro mod racing and local tracks, and I'd run all these quick 7s, quick 8s, stuff like that you show up, and if you can get your race car down, good to go, and winning a lot of money back when I was younger, cash deals and stuff, and And, I jumped into a pro mod, and I run pro mod for like 6 years on quarter mile, stuff like that. And it just kind of evolved into what it was, and then had an opportunity to drive a fuel car. And, here's the thing. I love 1320, and I thought it was, at first I was like, man, this is awful to go to 1,000 feet. But I'll tell someone that's never been in one and never experienced, not being able to see and being on fire and being so hot that it blisters your legs up, and not being able to tell where you're at on the racetrack, and you're trying to put it on the wall to slow things down, and, and having bodies explode, and, just having things that just are going to happen when you drive a fuel car. It's just inevitable. If you don't think it's going to happen, you probably shouldn't be in that race car. But that being said, when you are on fire and you're holding your breath and you can't see where you're at and you're getting really hot, you want every inch of track you have, So I'll say this to the diehard fans that, they're 1320 guys and gals, but I get where you're coming from, but from a driver's standpoint, we truly do use every inch that we can sometimes. I've only nosed a car in the sand one time in my career. And, you're going like this thing's hopping, and you got to let go of the brake to kind of let it settle and then grab more brake. And it was a Pomona and a really short racetrack, and we always kind of, aware of that anyway. But, those moments where you're just kind of like it's out of your control, some of it, you just kind of, you really, truly appreciate that extra 320 feet.
Yeah, I bet. I had the opportunity to talk to, this was probably, 15 years ago or something, to Don Garlitz, and, and just, looking at how the speeds have changed since, guys were first breaking 200 miles an hour, and that was fast, and how, now the speeds are just, you've gone up 100% on speed. I mean, it's crazy how fast the cars have gone.
And the tracks have stayed the same, you know what I mean? It's not like, from, 20, 30, 40 years ago that they've lengthened these tracks for us, so we're going just as fast. And that's the problem with some of these parachutes, like Impact, they're trying hard to design some stuff. And like even Del Wersham did, like he was going to do a third parachute, kind of did like a small one at first, and then the two big ones come out because they hit so hard that, back in the day when they were hitting even harder, you had guys problems with their retinas detaching and different things like that. So you have to, just be aware of everything that you do. Every action has a reaction, you know what I mean? So if you go faster, you got to figure out a way to stop it faster, you know what I mean? So that's what these crew chiefs deal with all the time. And it blows my mind how much chatter is really in my ear, all the way up until we fire this race car, and it's just kind of, I'm just blown away with, with basically the way they're doing, tire pressure and clutch weight and fuel flows and, wing and, just on and on and on, and then grip out on the racetrack, what they're going to do for, where we're staging the car, how long the burnout is and how much I'm taking care of the clutch backing up. And, people just think, well, you jump in it, you run it to the end, and it's just not the case. I mean, these things are all the way up until the last second, where he pulls the body down and I pull up there and stage the car and he turns the barrel valve, they're making adjustments on the race car. And
when you get to that point where the body comes down and and you said there's all that chatter going on and all the adjustments going on at the last minute, is there something you do kind of internally to center yourself and just focus on the end?
Yeah, scream real loud because I know I'm just playing. No, I think that there's a great book out there that I recommend to a lot of people for. It applies to business, it applies to life, it applies to sports. But there's I think what's allowed me to win several championships and runner-up and win a lot of races and set world records and stuff is working on your mind game, right? So, like, everybody, like, even in sports and stuff, there's boys and gals and stuff are there because they're physically talented, but what separates them from being amazing and just being an average athlete is their mind game, and being able to be mentally focused and working on that stuff. But there's a book called Mind Gym, and I recommend it to a lot of people that are in, sports or business or anything else. I mean, it's all about motivational and keeping positive and, creating, something in your mind that you're already seeing it happen and doing. It's kind of like when you shoot a basketball, you already saw yourself make it before you make that shot. You know what I mean? So it's just, seeing it, hearing it, saying it, and it happens kind of thing. And that's kind of where I find my center with a lot of stuff. I talk to myself in the car. I tell myself, kind of what I want to happen. And I watch the runs before me and see how the tracks are, kind of playing in. But is it pulling guys in or is it pulling guys out? Or, is there a big bump over here we got to watch out for and different things like that. So you're for me, what separates me, I feel like, is that in drag racing anyway, not a lot of people know how to work on their mental game, and that's what really kind of separates you. I mean, most people can go through the mechanics and sit in the car and keep up with the car, but really what separates you from being a champion and being just an average driver is your mental focus and being able to deal with pressure and internalizing stuff like that. When you those moments come up where you're going, all right, man, I get a chance here to create history. Like, this is something that's going to go down in the books, if I can get this done, So that's what excites me as a driver, to be able to rise to that occasion.
Yeah, there was a football player up here that kind of, I think, read the same book. Brady, he played for the Patriots up until this year. Yeah,
he seems to do all right.
I heard him on the radio one day, and he had exactly the same words you just did. He said it's as much a mental game as a physical game, and to the point where he met somebody when he was in college that kind of took him through the whole mental part of it. And he said, you look at him sometimes and you kind of wonder what he's thinking, but he's thinking about the end. He's thinking about the end game. What's going to happen? And no, absolutely.
Yeah, I had a sports psychologist one time I was working with, and he had me out there playing pretend catch in front of all my peers. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, buddy. I was like, I want to win, but I don't know if I want to make a fool of myself trying to do this. And it's kind of funny with working with some of those guys and just what they do to get you to that next level and stuff like that. But it's kind of funny. The year I worked with him, I won my first championship. So I definitely believe in the mental game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the physical game, I went out motorcycle riding with a guy who at the time was in the top 10 of Superbike, and we went out for a ride, and he said to me, we were talking, and he said, the idea of hauling that bike and flipping it left and right, and the kind of shape you have to be in, like you said, you're a big guy. You're what, 6'1", 230 pound guy. And
you're getting on up there, unfortunately. I think as I get a little older, it keeps, those weight keeps tacking up. But I'm definitely bigger for what we do, and staying in shape has been huge to me. I mean, when I started in 2009, I was just a fat kid for sure. And, it's just kind of one of those things where I was running around from town to town driving pro mods, and, you eat on the road and you don't work out, and you work on your car all night and you go back to the next racetrack. And it's just that, obviously typical, road life, looking person, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is not okay, So, just one of those things where I really started to try to focus on, my physical appearance and different things like that. And, I grew up playing ball and sports and stick and ball stuff, and, went to college to be a tackling dummy for a little while, and, just kind of, so how to be in shape and be, and to get there, but it's just taking the time. And, everybody can make an excuse for anything, and I make a lot of them, but you make time for what's important for you. And that's really what it comes down to, is like, how important is it to you? And if it is important, you'll make the time for it and make that change, Yeah,
no, it's really important. And you mentioned, when, the early days, and I think it might have been, what was it? John Force, one of his first sponsors was either Wendy's or Sonic or something. And part of the deal was he got to eat for free. And that was all, he wasn't making any money, but at least he got free food.
There you go. I guess there's always a trade-off with everything, right? So it's, I've definitely been approached by some supplement companies and different things like that, where I'm ambassador for First Form and different things. And, and it's just, it's like anything, you got to believe in it and use it to push it, or you don't bring it up, that kind of thing. I'm just kind of,
right.
Like, I opened up a Matt Hagan cattle company, or just Hagan Cattle Company, and I'm selling beef to people right now, and it's selling the niche right now where the grocery stores are empty, and people really concerned with where their food's going to come from, when who and where it's grown and how it's how it's handled and everything else. And I mean, within 3 weeks of doing this, I'm already sold out through August. And I had no idea there was such a demand for homegrown farm raised beef. I mean, instead of this imported stuff that we're getting in the grocery stores. But it just blew me away. You know what I mean? So people definitely are concerned with what they're putting in their body and their food and everything else. So it kind of makes a full circle with what I do on my farming side of things. And, maybe able to open up a new company there, and just, I got 2 gals that are heading that up for me, and being able to pay them just to, to sling beef. And it's just pretty cool, to see how that demand is out there for people's food.
And usually the part of the country you live in, we talk about growing tobacco, but you're growing hemp now too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's been great. And that's something. So, just a real quick backstory on it. My brother, I lost him 3 years ago now from opioids, from OxyContin. He had basically his curvature in his spine. He had surgery, got hooked on pain pills from the doctor, and just had pneumonia from sitting around on that, and his lungs shut down, and I lost him. So, the thing about hemp, what people I think don't really understand, is that you don't have the psychoactive side of it at all, but you have all the benefits from the cannabinoids that you get from the healing, and all the benefits that they have from the anti-inflammatory and rest and different things like that. So all the different cannabinoids are in there except for the THC. So, in a lot of these things that we're doing, we're remediating the THC out of it. So there's no psychoactive side of it, but you get the healing side of it. So that has been huge for me, losing my brother and different things like that, finding a way to help people manage their pain without getting them addicted to something has been really big. And it kind of is just a warm and fuzzy for me, because don't get me wrong, I got in it to make money, but when you can help people with their, change their lives and get off of opioids and different things like that, you're really doing something for somebody,
Yeah, no, it sounds good. Well, it looks like August might be the start time for you guys to start racing again, right?
Well, I sure hope so, man. I was going to go racing, coming up this next month, but it's we want to be safe, and we want to we want to make sure that we're not spreading COVID and everything else, and I think it's going to be a general slow return to normal life here soon, so and the COVID stuff, we're really trying to go out there. We've had I'm a part of the COVID relief that we're donating to, and basically I put up some shirts and hats and starting line shirts and stuff, and raising money for all these folks out here that have been on the front lines, or just things that have been involved with it. I think there's over 150 athletes doing this right now, and they're just all banding together to try to raise awareness and money for this whole cause.
Yeah. No. Is there now your 330 mile an hour hot rod is a pretty cool car to drive, but do you have something fun for the weekends in the garage at home?
I wish, brother. Maybe one day I'll get some toys, but my brother, when he passed, he got a 68 Camaro, that Super Sport that he left me, and then Mopar's hooked me up with several trucks. I farm, I got 3,700 acres, and we keep over 800 mama cows, and so if it can't get cow crap on it, I usually don't have it, so it's one of those things where we got pickup trucks and flatbeds, and I keep a fleet of Dodges here, but they're it's just like anything else. We're just out here farming. I got a great relationship with New Holland, and so between Mopar and New Holland, they're all FCA umbrella, and it's been really great for me because it fits right in my wheelhouse. So we've been able to like I said, just keep the wheels rolling out here on the farms, and it's a huge. As much as I've had a break, I've been super busy with these different entities that I got going on with my outdoor store and the hemp and the farm and the cattle, and so it's just like, man, I'm ready to go racing, because I didn't have a choice before, and racing kind of is like my getaway, my break a little bit, and now it's just kind of like I'm just working and working and working. I was on the tractor last night until 1:30 cutting rye, and it's just kind of like I should be on a plane somewhere going to go to a drag race, so that's just how it goes though. But very blessed to be here and doing what we're doing and have the relationships that we have. But I desperately want to get back to racing. I love it. I have a passion for it. And, I just love our fans too. Everybody likes listening to your show and watching and stuff. It supports, what we do and our sponsors and stuff. It just, that's what I really love about it, is that it's so engaging and fan friendly, and you get to meet the people and talk to them, and, just kind of check how their day's going. And, they spend their whole weekend there and pretty much their vacation to come see you, so, we take that serious,
Well, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your Saturday. I didn't know you were so entrepreneurial and had so many things going on, so crazy busy how you are, and hopefully we'll get to see you come up to Epping soon.
Yes, sir. Let's go. I've won that, I think, 3 years in a row now, so I'm kind of bummed that we're not, it doesn't look like it's going to be on the schedule right now, but I'm hoping to get back here because that racetrack has shown me a lot of love here lately.
I know. I was looking at your numbers, and considering Bobby's, that's kind of his hometown track, and you seem to kick his butt up there.
We hadn't let anybody else had any room to win anything there lately. So I was kind of like, man, I want to go there no matter what. You know what I mean? So, but we'll get back to normal life, and we hope everybody stays safe. And we just appreciate everybody keeping up with us. And thank you for their time today. I mean, it's nice to get here and talk a little bit about drag racing and life and everything else. But we're ready to go back 330 miles an hour, as soon as possible.
Yep. And if people want to follow you on social, it looks like, let's see if I got this right. It looks like Twitter, you're Matt Hagan _FC, Facebook, Matt Hagan FC, and Instagram, same as Twitter, Matt Hagan _
Yeah, Matt Hagan _FC. Yeah, funny car. So, that's it. And I'm more on my Instagram than I am anything. I do apologize. I know my Facebook fans and stuff, probably haven't been getting a fair shake at stuff, but with all the other things I got going on, I'm lucky to just get Instagram done. But, I'm still trying to, everybody puts out all this cool stuff, and I'm like, how do they do that? I don't even know how to do that on my phone yet, so it's kind of, it's just more daily life.
They got people doing it. Yeah.
What's that?
They got people doing it. So
yeah, I got to get
I think that, yeah.
Right.
There you go.
So much for your time today.
Hey, Matt, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Be safe and go fast.
Yes, sir. That's the plan. Hopefully, by the time we talk again, I'll have a cool nickname like you.
All right. Thanks. All right. Bye-bye. That was Matt Hagan, world champion funny car driver. Really, really nice guy. And spent a little extra time with us, which was nice. We need to take a break, pay some bills. My name's John Paul. This is the Car Doctor program. You're listening on North Shore 104.9. We'll be right back.
We want our listeners to have a great weekend, and we appreciate you waking up and keeping it local with us every weekday morning. Join us at 6. We got birthdays every weekday morning at 6:50. Monday, we'll be joined by Joanne McGinnis from Aberdeen, Mark Friedman,
Tweezed in a D.
And then, of course, the Senator after 9.
We're going to have Bobby Griffin from Chelsea Police and also the Chelsea Police Harbor Master. He'll be joining us also. And guess what? It's Elizabeth's 16th birthday. My youngest daughter's sweet 16th birthday. So all weekend, happy birthday, Elizabeth. You're going to hate me for this.
Erica and Donnie in the morning on North Shore 104.9.
Beth Israel Leahy Health extends our deepest gratitude to all healthcare workers across Massachusetts. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to keeping our communities healthy. And join us each day at noon for the playing of our national anthem.
Join us this Sunday at 7 a.m. for Dirty Work Hard Pay on the Shot to talk about all your home projects. Dirty Work this Sunday at 7 on North Shore 104.9.
All roadside assistance is not created equal. A car can break down anytime and anywhere. Join AAA, the roadside provider that puts you first. AAA covers you in any car you're driving or riding in. Our trained technicians arrive fast and usually fix the problems on the spot. Trust your safety to the most recommended roadside provider in the U.S. Join AAA today at AAA.com/join. That's AAA.com/join.
Summer at Salem State has something for everyone, including undergraduate and graduate classes. Summer classes are a great way to get ahead, complete prerequisite work, earn professional development credits, or complete your degree. No place so close can take you so far. Check out all that Salem State has to offer this summer at salemstate.edu/summer. Register today at salemstate.edu/summer.
The Epicurean Shop, located adjacent to the Century House restaurant on Route 114 in Peabody, is your easy, safe, and quicker alternative to grocery shopping. The Epicurean Shop is open Monday through Saturday between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and closed on Sundays during the pandemic. The Epicurean Shop is well stocked with ready-to-grill marinated meats and chicken and excellent prepared meals ready to warm at home. The Epicurean Shop encourages online ordering and curbside pickup. All the details are online at centuryhousepeabody.com.
Welcome back to the Car Doctor program. If you would like to join us, 800-370-1049 is the number. 800-370-1049 is how you get through and chat with us about your car problems. Maybe you're thinking about buying a car. Maybe you're thinking about selling a car. I was talking with one of my former coworkers who actually I used to do a radio show with many, many, many years ago. And he's thinking about trading in his 2016 Toyota RAV4 hybrid. And he said, hey, I'm thinking about trading it in. And he wants to buy a Tacoma pickup truck. Want to know what I thought about that. And told him, you can't go wrong. But on the other hand, he said, they don't seem like they're giving me a lot for my trade-in right now. And he looked it up on Edmunds and I think Kelley Blue Book, and he got a price of $16,000 for a trade-in, something like that, and the dealer's offering him more like $14,000. And he's like, I'd probably take $15,000. Is it worth the $1,000 to argue back and forth? And he lives in New Hampshire, so he lives in a car sales tax-free state. So normally I would say to somebody in Massachusetts, take the trade-in, even if it's a little less than you think, because the trade-in number is going to come off the sales tax because you already paid the sales tax once. So instead of paying sales tax on $40,000, you'd pay sales tax on $25,000. And then when you factor in the amount of the sales tax, that $1,000 gets shrunk right down pretty quick. So it's almost not worth trying to argue about it. I did suggest to him that, maybe he goes to one of those large used car lots where they handle the trade-in completely separate, where they just buy cars and basically, give you a ride home afterwards. And I said, at least you'll get a better estimation on what the car's worth. But right now, used cars are kind of a surplus. People aren't buying cars. People are buying some newer cars, like our buddy Jimmy Carter just got a new car, or his wife just did, from Micho Mitsubishi. But people aren't, you look at the average transaction price of a new car now is around $36,000. But the average transaction price of a car is closer to $15,000 or $16,000, because that's going to be, used cars are a big portion right now. But people aren't buying used cars because a lot of the people that would normally buy a used car are people that are currently either in limbo with their job, on furlough with their job, or been laid off from their job. So they're not buying cars, and used cars are starting to stack up a little bit, which is why some of the used car prices are coming down. So I said, go check and see what it's worth. He said the truck he's looking at, he admitted that he said, I kind of look for the finer things in life now. And he said, unlike you, I said, I tend to buy the base model. He tends to buy the better model. So good for him. And I said to him, he's a little bit younger than me. And he said, but shouldn't you try to treat yourself well, different than when you were 20? And he kind of agreed. I'm just not that person. But anyway, although I did want to talk about the car that took me around a little bit over the last week, and that is the Sentra by Nissan. And again, if you want to join us, and I hope you will, at 800-370-1049, 800-370-1049 is how you get through and talk to Jimmy. He'll put you on the air, and we can talk to you about your car and your car problems. Phone lines are wide open if you want to join us. 800-370-1049. The 2020 Sentra by Nissan is updated with new engine and suspension, all while having the look of its larger siblings, the Ultima, and even the premium level Maxima. The Sentra is powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine connected to a continually variable transmission. Although the Sentra is a compact car, it's actually quite roomy. The Sentra comes in 3 trim levels, S, SV, and SR, with only 2 option packages. The base S includes 16-inch steel wheels with full covers, remote keyless entry, push-button start. The subject of our test drive was sort of the in-between car, the SV. The SV adds 16-inch alloy wheels, upgraded infotainment called Nissan Connect, which features Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. 8-inch color display with multi-touch control, 6-speaker audio system, dual-zone climate control. Kind of unusual in a kind of entry-level car that you would have climate control separate for left and right passengers. 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels. It's an upgrade. Ours had the upgrade, so you can go to 18-inch alloy wheels. LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, your sport cloth interior, and then there are 2 premium option packages which add everything from a moonroof to heated seats and steering wheel and leather interior and more. So those are kind of the option packages that go with the car. I've driven the Sentra since they first came out, and the first thing you notice about the latest version, how much it's grown and grown up. The interior is comfortable and stylish. The materials used are a better quality than early models, and all the controls seem to make sense. The seats feel like they'll stay comfortable all day long. Seat comfort's, I think, partially due to something called Nissan calls it zero gravity. It's the kind of padding and foam, I guess, they use in the seat, which help optimize posture positioning for enhanced comfort during long driving distances. A 6-way manual driver's seat and 4-way manual front passenger seat are standard. Simple items such as switches, climate control, radio, volume, and tuning knobs. Yeah, this has a volume and tuning knob, are all placed where I would expect them. I'm driving a Honda Civic. It's got a volume knob, but still you got to use the touch screen to tune it. I've been told they're going to fix that the next go around. Other interior features include front and rear door pockets, front center console, padded armrests, cup holders, rear seat armrest, driver's one-touch auto up and down, auto reverse, all that kind of fun stuff. The new 4-liter engine is now rated at 149 horsepower. That's up about 20%. That gives the Sentra peppy feel, not exactly a sports sedan, but certainly adequate for all driving conditions. The latest CVT transmission feels more like a regular transmission. Seems odd to say that, but yeah, it actually feels like it has real shift points where instead of feeling like it gets stuck at a certain RPM, so it actually does feel better when you drive it. Fuel economy about 30 miles per gallon in mostly city driving, because that's what I'm doing these days, mostly city driving like most everybody else. The latest Sentra is now the best Sentra with a smoother ride, better handling, quality interior. It may not be the most powerful car in the compact segment, but it is a small car that's easy to like. EPA says 29 city, 39 highway. Base price starts as low as $20,000. Our phone number, 800-370-1049. Let's take a call. I think we're going to talk to John. Good morning.
Morning, John. How are you?
John? Good. How are you?
Good. I have a question. My 99 Maxima is leaking coolant. Not a lot, but my understanding is it's the crossover tube, which I think you just... But I'm having trouble coming up with a cooling system diagram. Is there a good website for that type of thing, for, showing you diagrams of the systems and all the different parts and so forth?
Maybe. There might be some kind of good parts explosion if you could actually find the true like Nissan manual for the car. Maybe all data which I use sometimes will have some of these diagrams, but in a lot of cases they're sort of pretty basic still. When I look up the
only like subscription thing.
No, well, there's a DIY version which you kind of buy it as a subscription for one vehicle. But even at that, I just pulled up a cooling system diagram, and really all it shows is the radiator hoses, the radiator, the water pump, and not much more than that. There's another system that I use called Mitchell On Demand. Sometimes that has a little bit more detail, but for most of the time, I don't think there is a I don't think there is a DIY version of that. But if you send me an email and with just remind me what kind of car it is, I'll do a little research over the next couple of days, and if I can find some kind of decent cooling system diagram, I'll send it to you. How's that?
That'd be great. As far as like a manual, do you prefer like Haynes versus Chilton's versus any other? It looks like I can find books for no money at all, but I'm just not sure what the best one is.
Yeah, I always liked Haynes. I always thought they did a little nicer job than Chilton's. Back in the olden days when all you had was either a Motors manual or a Chilton's manual, and you could fix just about every car in existence. Now it's a little bit more challenging, I guess. Because there's so much information out there. Like I said, I use 2 computer databases to look stuff up, and sometimes that doesn't even seem like enough. And that's where sometimes the only thing that will work is a factory manual, and trying to find one can be a little bit of a challenge. But like I said, I will try to find what I can. And if it has any kind of detail other than more of what you can, what you could just find, opening the hood and just looking under the hood and going, oh yeah, there's some stuff there. Most of the cooling system diagrams tend to be more about the electronics, about the fan and how various aspects of the cooling system work. Not so much. You're looking for more like where all the hoses go, right?
Right, because I really got to figure out where that crossover tube is, and figure out how hard it would be to get at. Really.
Yeah, and that if I can find it. If I can find it, I'd be happy to send it to you. So send me an email at jpaul@aaanortheast.com. And if I can find something that looks like it would be helpful for you, I will send it along to you.
Great. Appreciate it, John.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Have a nice.
Bye-bye now. 800-370-1049. 800-370-1049. Phone lines are open if you'd like to join us. We have about 15 minutes left of the program, so give us a call. 800-370-1049. We'll be right back.
This weather report is brought to you by Moynihan Lumber.
If you would like to know all the latest information regarding kitchen cabinets, visit Moynihan Lumber with 25 kitchens on display at 82 River Street in downtown Beverly. Or visit us at MoynihanLumber.com.
Cocktail time. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, behave. I know we're all losing our minds, so now's the time to grab a bottle of Nautical American gin. Make yourself a naughty lemonade, maybe a naughty mule. Sit back, relax, and be gin. Get it? Be gin. Small B, small E, capital G, capital I, capital N. Anyway, folks, Nautical American gin. Check it out. Go into your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Say, I want to get naughty with Nautical. It's got the blue-green bottle with the flat back. Please discover responsible, and let's be gin.
Trust AAA to put you first and get you safely back on the road with 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year road service coverage. For a limited time, new members can join with just 2 drivers for as low as $44. Visit AAA.com/join.
We make it easy. Hi, this is Brian Kelly. All our dealerships have been thoroughly cleaned and disinfected. We've painted floors, walls, bathrooms, sanitized, and replaced carpets. Our children's play areas are spotless. Our waiting rooms have been expanded with outdoor seating. We're offering service by appointment and online touchless sales and delivery system. Whether you're looking for a Nissan, Infiniti, Jeep, Chrysler, Volkswagen, Ford, or Honda, feel confident to reach out to any of our dealerships. Hey, this hasn't been easy on any of us, but we're committed to do our part.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Rosenthal. Here is your North Shore 104.9 forecast, serving the North Shore and the Merrimack Valley. Sun, a few clouds today at night. It'll be 68 to 75, turning cooler at the coast in the afternoon. Overnight, mainly clear, lows about 50. Tomorrow, sun clouds. It'll be in the 60s, low 70s, but cooler at the coast. Chance of occasional rain on Monday. Cooler, temps in very low 50s. Forecast being brought to you by the Berry Tavern on High Street in Danvers. The Berry Tavern offers curbside pickup and delivery takeout through local delivery companies. They offer North End Italian specialties like Pappardelle Bolognese, veal parmesan and chicken, Bevenotto with homemade pasta and sauce, as well as brick oven pizza. They also serve salads, soups, sandwiches, steak tips, burgers, fries, along with beer and wine. Call 978-777-2377. For local North Shore 1049, I'm Mark Rosenthal.
I go sing best of all. I can lock on my doors. It's the only way to live in cars.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program on North Shore 1049. Our phone number 800-370-1049. And I think Captain Keith is on the phone with us. Keith?
Yes, Doctor.
Hey, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Just staying safe, staying out of trouble?
Trying to. It's hard, though.
Yeah, it is. I know.
I actually have a car question.
Sure.
So, I have a 2016 Explorer EcoBoost all-wheel drive, and it's got 113,000 on it. So, sporadically, the tranny bangs. So, when it shifts. So I took it to the dealer 2 or 3 times, and it's not pulling any codes. But I was wondering if you had heard anything about these transmissions or going south.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because now the new Explorers are all back like the old Explorers. They're rear wheel drive again instead of like yours is biased on front wheel drive. The new ones are kind of biased on rear wheel drive. So. There hasn't, oddly, there hasn't been really a whole lot in like technical service bulletins and stuff like that. It has been a pretty good transmission, but if there's no codes and there's no wear in the driveline, the only thing that means is internally inside the transmission, one of the accumulator that is designed, and all transmissions have different forms of accumulators and springs that soften the shifts, and it sounds like one of those is maybe starting to act up a bit. So
should I?
Is the transmission?
Well, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, is the transmission starting to go bad? It might be starting to head in that direction. Yeah. Now, does it?
Yeah, right.
When does it? Yeah, when does it do it?
It's sporadic. You can't really predict. It's once in a while it just bangs.
And does it do it at any certain speed?
No, it's when you accelerate, obviously, because it shifts up. But no,
is it?
Unfortunately, my warranty is up in 10,000 miles, so I'll have to go with the AAA.
Well, or you could just, the thing, even though there's no codes in it, doesn't mean that there's no problem with it. So you just need to be able to, get into the dealership while it's still under warranty and show them that, hey, this is what I'm talking about. This is when I feel the bang. This is when I feel it. This is where all the noise is. And, but most of the problems with that transmission are just the opposite. It's either a delayed shift or a soft shift, and that's usually that's usually one of the clutches inside the transmission starting to act up. But as far as if I had to guess, just guessing, I would say the forward clutch is probably starting to go bad in the transmission, but time will tell on that one.
Okay.
Maybe it's just
I'll
time
bring it back again. I got a document.
Yeah, maybe it's just time for a new truck. Yeah.
What?
Maybe it's just time for a new truck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
I drove the I drove the Explorer RS the other day, so that's the like 450 horsepower Explorer. You'd look good in that.
Oh, thanks. Rear wheel drive, right?
Oh, well, it's rear wheel, all wheel, yeah. So, but it's rear wheel primarily, yeah. So,
is it rear wheel posi?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You can do some smoke shows.
Well, it's basically what it basically is. It's the police pursuit version without the police package. So, you'd be just writing. You'd be just writing that, and I think they give them away at like 60,000 or something. So it'd be perfect.
Sure. I'll sign right up.
All right. All right.
Thanks for your help.
Maybe I'll come over and see you. Maybe I'll come over and see you today. All right. Take care, Keith. All right. Let's go to Robert, and then I think we need to take another break. Robert, good morning.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
You survived the storm, did you?
I did, yeah. There was no tornadoes that I saw. So
I'll kind of make it quick. I talked to you a few weeks ago about brake job, and I'm having Sullivan Tire. They did a brake inspection, so the rear brakes need replacing. Now, my question is, they don't want to turn any rotors, and this is in New Hampshire now, by the way, and they told me they don't turn rotors, they replace them. Is that a fact or fiction? And they look good,
rotors. Well, it's you do two things. Either you just put pads on it, or you put new rotors on it. People who know me and have listened to me talk for a long time know that I'm cheap. But I got to tell you, when I do brakes, I buy rotors because you try to resurface them, you take off, 10 thousandths on each side to just smooth them out and get them all nice and cleaned up, and you don't want to put a new brake pad typically against a hardened, glazed up rotor because they'll tend to squeak. So you need to take a little bit off so you have fresh metal for the brakes to kind of burnish up against. And by the time you do that, today's rotors are so lightweight that they tend to warp afterwards. So
that would be. I figured New Hampshire maybe they have different rules in Mass, but
No, it's got nothing to do with rules. It's got to do with what kind of comebacks they get. It's just they probably look at it and go, what, it's going to be I don't even know what it would cost to if you brought a rotor to a machine shop and said resurface them. I don't know, they'd be probably $20 or $25 a piece or something. Right. And by the time you're done, it makes. If you're gonna hold on to the vehicle, it makes more sense to put a new set of pads against a new set of rotors, so you're not going to have any trouble. So
I agree. I mean, I'm kind of cheap, but I like tires and brakes, things like that. I just want to make sure that because they look like they were just down a little bit. They could have been just crosshatched. But.
Yeah, but you are anytime you take metal off, you're more apt to. The metal of the rotor is what keeps it from overheating. So years back when rotors were, weighed 25 pounds a piece and they were good and heavy, and you could resurface, they all have minimum thicknesses on them, and you could resurface them right down to the minimum and you wouldn't have a problem. Now it seems like if you resurface them once and 10,000 miles later, you get a brake vibration. So
the standards must be tightened up too as far as how much they can take off. Right?
Yeah, because it's all about weight, and they go around and the lighter they make something, the better gas mileage it is. So they look and they say, can we save, 100 grams of weight by making this rotor skinny? And they go, yeah, we can.
Yeah,
that's what happens. So
about a 13-inch diameter rotor, though. It's pretty good size.
Yep. Yeah, I know, but still it's the thickness of it, which is the part. Yeah. I was talking to the service manager at a high-end dealership one day, at a Mercedes dealership, and he said, we used to resurface rotors all the time. He said it just doesn't make sense for us to do it because it ends up costing us in the end. The customer comes back, and then we end up. And then we either try to do it again, or then we say to them, we should have put rotors on to start off with, and then we don't want to put new rotors on with old pads, and that's how we're stuck. So, hey, Robert, I got to go. We got to take a break. But thanks for calling, as always. Why don't we take a quick break? My name's John Paul. This is the Car Doctor program. You're listening on North Shore 104.9 with Jimmy Carter producing. We'll be right back.
Boston Vets, the British are coming, we need a defense. Want it by land, do it by sea, all here's our logo, and the estimate's free.
Hi, this is Frank of Boston Fence and Vinyl in historic Beverly. Let us show you how the right fence can enhance the beauty and define the lines of your piece of the American dream, your home. And remember, want it by land, do it by sea. Paul Revere's on our logo, and the estimate's free.
Call the original Boston Fence and Vinyl for an appointment today. 1-800-585-7753. That's the original Boston Fence and Vinyl.
All roadside assistance is not created equal. A car can break down anytime and anywhere. Join AAA, the roadside provider that puts you first. AAA covers you in any car you're driving or riding in. Our trained technicians arrive fast and usually fix the problems on the spot. Trust your safety to the most recommended roadside provider in the U.S. Join AAA today at AAA.com/join. That's AAA.com/join.
I'm Ashley from Agway of Danvers and Waltham. We're open with everything you need to grow your own fruits and vegetables. Plan ahead with onion sets, garlic bulbs, asparagus roots, and vegetable seeds. Pick up bags of compost, mulch, organic garden food, fertilizers, and pesticides. A backyard vegetable garden can help distance you from grocery stores and also give you a fun hobby while home. We are open weekdays from 9 to 5 and Saturdays until 4. Visit us in Waltham or at 9 Wenham Street in Danvers.
Have your morning coffee with me, Mark Friedman, host of Dollars and Cents, each and every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. We'll start your day with financial advice in a language you can understand.
Hi, I'm Nick Gebber from Teresa's Hospitality Group, wishing everyone good health. Teresa's Italian Eatery is now open in Middleton for takeout and delivery every day from 3 to 8 p.m. Let us do the cooking. Enjoy our great Italian dishes, specialties, and pizza. We also have our family-sized trays and complete family dinners, all with easy call-ahead curbside pickup, or you may order online at DoorDash or Uber Eats for delivery. Call us at 978-646-1111 or visit us on the web, Teresa'sEatery.com.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program. We're just about running out of time, but I want to talk about an interesting Jeep I got a news release about. It says the Ball & Boak announces the launch of the bespoke CJ8 Jeep Scrambler. Scrambler is an old name. But this was Ball & Boak, the leaders in sporting lifestyle and outdoor menswear, announces the launch of the custom-built Ball & Buck original signature series CJ8 vintage Jeep from the 80s, sourced around the country and modernized with custom finishes and mechanics of a one-of-a-kind ride. The custom-tailored CJ8 program from Ball & Buck launched about a month ago, actually, and it says it reimagined the CJ8 for a model that combines style and function. The CJ8 Scrambler, produced in 1981, was only manufactured for 5 years and was popular because of its small pickup-style box. It was perfect for driving the streets or going off-road. Apparently, fans range from Ronald Reagan to Steve McQueen to Clint Eastwood. And if you want to buy one of these, it is a crazy price. Prices range from about $65,000 to $95,000. Now this is for an old Jeep with a new drivetrain, and you can get powertrains. You can get a 4.2-liter fuel-injected engine. You can get a 6-liter fuel-injected GMC V8 and LS3 engine in it, or you can get a 2.8-liter Cummins turbo diesel, and it takes 3 to 6 months to get this custom-built vehicle. So I don't know if it's so much about Jeep or it is about fashion. Either way, but something I'm not going to get, that's for sure. So there we go. Hey, that music means, that piano guy means we need to go until next week. I was going to say next week, I don't know. We don't have I don't think we have a guest book for next week yet, but I hope you enjoyed Matt Hagan. He was great. I really appreciate him spending the time he did with us. So until next week, make sure you wear your seatbelt, drive safely, be good to your car and wash your hands and wear a mask. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.
North Shore 104.9 WBOQ Gloucester and streaming worldwide on the North Shore 104.9 app.